Good morning to all the listeners out there. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Welcome to another edition of the England Roger Sports Hour on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Oh, another Saturday, Roger. It's now showing that we are in fall. So,
I know. Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's looking like fall outside. Colors have changed. It's dark. It's dreary, but
yeah,
it's not too cold and it's not too hot. Oh,
yeah, it's not too cold and not too hot. It's a couple of days last week was tempting, and I ran out and played a couple of rounds of golf, and it
you
was,
got it in?
but it
That's
was
awesome.
cool. It was in the evening, so it was cool.
Yeah, it was. It gets a
Yeah.
little chilly in the evenings for
Yeah, it
sure.
does. Yeah, so but a lot of sports happening. The World Cup cricket,
Yeah, that is going.
Super 50 in the Caribbean. So a lot of things are happening, and World Cup. Wow, I don't know what to say. It's a lot of surprises. That's just all I can say right now. Is the race is not
Yeah,
for the swift, right?
I
So
know. I told you last week some of these teams are going to get warmed up.
yeah, and
And see, Warner warmed up finally.
yeah, that's an example of a team that's warmed up to Australia.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
We will talk about that a little later. The Super 50 has gotten underway, so that is also ongoing
yeah.
in the Caribbean. We'll talk about how the teams are doing. Um, as usual, we talk about things that are happening like on the other circuits, like the Formula One, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
track and field, off-field things happening.
yeah, things going on
Not
off the field for sure.
yeah, and seen a lot of athletes are tweeting. Some of them are having fun, and some are saying back to work.
It's that time of the year, I must say, that you rest up from the previous season and you get ready for the next one. Some
Right.
start just depends on when the season ends. Some start in October, some start the first week of November. So if you didn't have a good season last year, you would have started back already. But if you had a great season or finished good like Andre, he's still on vacation, right? So
Yeah.
just depends on where it is. But I think by November, first week of November, everybody will be back.
The thing I notice about sports now, because in the era of social media, everyone now has to be relevant, and they're doing all sorts of things that you didn't expect.
I know.
Posting,
I
just
know.
just to make sure that they keep their fans happy and
Yeah, they're seen.
engaged.
They're engaged, and
Yeah.
I've seen like I follow a whole bunch of them, and every time I turn it on, some of them are just dancing, some of them are
Yeah.
just doing little stuff, but they're out there. They're out there, and it's good to be in the
Yes.
media. So good
Seen
for them.
Elaine doing some dancing
I see her
and
try. I see her trying.
try. I, I
No,
I get the feeling she's holding back.
I get the feeling that she could be doing a lot more, but
Yeah.
she's choosing not to. So you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. But yeah, she takes her time when she goes through her moves. But last week we saw Noah Lyles and his girlfriend
No.
doing the
Yeah.
the drift, and so yes, they're all there. I didn't see Andre DeGrasse and Nia Ali dancing, but they were certainly having fun in Jamaica. So
Yeah, a lot of the athletes are going to Jamaica actually for vacation, which
yeah, yeah, which
not
is
a bad
nice,
place to be for sure.
nice place to go chill out.
Nice, yeah. So, other than those things that we will talk about a bit later, the Formula One is in the US this weekend, and a
And I noticed it
surprise,
right around the corner, right across the street, I should say.
yeah, and surprise pole leader today for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm wondering, did Verstappen say I've already won, I have nothing to prove, I do what I want, and I come sixth, and I'm still gonna beat them? I don't know what it is, but
That's
yeah,
what I was thinking. He's
you know,
six and he's still because he actually had the fastest time, but he was disqualified
yeah,
for
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he was fastest in qualify in practice. He was the fastest lap in qualifier, but it was some I think on one of the turns he had an
yeah,
illegal something there.
legal,
So
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's you can never write him off. Lewis
no,
looked good. I mean, Leclerc is a pole in
yeah,
pole position, so kudos to him. But Lewis Hamilton wasn't far behind.
no, the
Third,
second and third wasn't far behind at all. I think
yeah,
Lando Norris was second, and
second, yeah,
Hamilton just shot. And Hamilton is saying that first time in 2 years he's seen and he can feel the upgrades in the
yeah, yeah.
Mercedes.
I found that interesting that he's finally saying, "Okay, I think we're finally getting it now." But let's see how the race goes if he can prove them right or prove himself right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because, I mean, as although Verstappen is in six, we expect him to be up there in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
podium.
He'll probably win.
He'll probably win, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Six is not far enough behind for him. So
He's close enough. I've seen him
close.
come from further down and still win.
Yeah, and that race goes tomorrow, I think. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And today, I think they have what, the sprints, is it?
Yes,
It's
yes.
new. I've never really watched the sprints to see, but
Yeah, I haven't
yeah.
really watched it at all either. I think it's something that they're trying,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I'm not sure if I've bought into it, but
No, I haven't either. So that's why I haven't really had a chance to sit and look at the sprints. But something new that they're trying, and yeah, it's some places it's catching up. Some people are not totally in favor.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's an exciting. I mean, it should be an exciting race if Lewis is saying all of this now that maybe he's going to challenge in this race. I don't know, but
Maybe.
I'm hoping that we can finally see a race we can say yes, this looks like a real F1 race
Yes, that's
because
what
we
they're
haven't
looking.
seen a lot of that this year. It's just been a one man show.
It has been just a one man show for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that race tomorrow. We'll bring you the updates next week. Unfortunately, we can't bring it to you live or anything, but yeah, and then some tennis and Leila Fernandez, her great run came to an end.
You know what? I was wondering about that. I mean, she won.
Yeah, she
Kudos to
won.
her. To
She was,
win is very important, and she did. She won
yeah,
last week, and she was looking really good. I was like, okay, she beat Siniakova, and I'm saying, okay, she beat her last week in Hong Kong final. Let's see what she does over here in China in the semifinals, and it was no go for her this time.
turn around, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you're
Sinekova
not gonna
got
beat
her,
me twice.
yeah, she's got her revenge, 7-5, 6-4.
Close match
And
though. Close
close
match.
match, yeah,
Yeah.
close match. And it's good for Fernandez because it's a confidence I think is coming back, and
Yes, it is.
which is very good. And that's great. Although she didn't get to the finals, it's sometimes tough to get into two finals week after
Back to
week,
back. Yeah,
back to back.
yeah.
And
So I was going. I'm saying she's young, so she may be able to do it, and she seems to be on a little roll, and she's still playing well. She
mhm,
just didn't have enough to beat Siniakova this time, but she's looking good. She's on a roll. She's on her way up.
she is. She's playing well, and she's looking similar to what we saw of her before.
Yeah.
And Felix actually had some wins too. In
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm like, okay, Felix Ogre Aliassime, what's going on with you? You haven't done anything since May, and we're now
yeah,
in the end of October. And he beat Offner to reach
yeah,
his first quarterfinal, just the quarterfinals.
just the quarterfinals. Yeah.
It's first quarterfinal since May. So he's been knocked out very early, pretty much
Mhm.
every time he plays in the last few times he played.
Yeah, good for him to get this, maybe some confidence getting back, and then he will eventually get back to what we expected of Felix,
Yes,
So
yeah, yeah.
hopefully,
Hopefully, because I was so pumped. I think he got to as high as sixth in the world.
yes, he did.
And I'm like, okay, he's ready to go top three. And I'm not sure if he's even in the top 40 right now. He just went all the way down. He's just going
Much.
down every time we see him play.
And over in Stockholm, Gearman Fields, he's into a semifinals.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
been in the news for the wrong things recently, but
Yeah, yeah. But
when
he's
I
still
say the
in.
wrong things, people are criticizing him making the French team and stuff, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
proven he still should be there because he's not a top 100 player, but he made the team. And but I don't know about the rankings sometimes. The rankings,
It's hard to do it. I'm pretty sure, and as an administrator, it will be very difficult because there's so many factors. But
mm,
at the end of the day, it is a system that is being used, and I think everyone understands it or knows what it is. So, but yeah, I don't agree with it either. It's not that great.
and yeah, it's not that great. And I was actually reading something. I don't know if it's new. It's because I haven't been following Serena since but she played a doubles recently. Is it?
Serena
That's what I was reading down. It's unless it's old news. I
must
don't
have been
know.
old news because isn't she having baby or something?
Did she have a baby? I don't know. I was reading something then. I said, this can't be real. It just popped up just in my news thing today, and I didn't even check the date for the article. But I said just, I sort of dismissed it because I said I don't think Serena's playing any tennis. So I didn't even. I just saw the headlines. Must have been something old because when I checked, I didn't see that she was playing in any tournament. I know Venus was supposed to play and
To
she
play.
pulled
Yeah,
out.
maybe they mixed up with Venus because
Yeah.
August 22nd, they said she had her second child.
Okay, so it
so, so
could
I don't know unless she's a
could be
super.
out. Could be that super coming out. So maybe people just like to recite. Well, AI is doing all sorts of stuff now, right?
Yeah, AI is in the background playing with our minds. That's what it
Yeah,
does. Just play with
yeah.
our minds.
It's playing with everybody's minds right now. So you never know. But
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I just wanted to see her come back and get that
I think
knowledge.
that is what it is about. I don't think she's gonna come back though.
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
she's happy with her off field and satisfied with her life. Even her too. She's quite busy in social media these
Yes, she
days.
is. She is. She is.
Yeah.
You know what? It helps if they're in business and she's in business. So
Mhm.
it helps her profile. It helps bring people to her. So she does it and does it
Yeah,
well.
it works well for her. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have there's any other sport you want to talk about before we get into some cricket and track and field? 'Cause there's a bit to talk about.
Yeah. Just quickly, I think we had talked last week about the Shriners Children's Open and
Oh yes,
Tom Kim.
Tom
He
King. Yes,
defended. You know what?
came
That's
from
not
behind.
very often, right?
Yeah, he came from behind, eh?
Yeah, he did. This is
Good.
his tournament apparently.
Yeah, because on the second day, I think he was way down on the second day, and I
Yes,
thought
I thought he was down
he,
and out.
I thought he was down and out too. But yeah, this is his tournament, and he
Yeah,
had to. He came right back.
he did. He did.
Yeah,
Credit to him though. Credit
yeah.
to him.
Credit to him for real for coming back and winning.
Yeah,
And actually, there was so much talk about him when he came on the scene,
yeah,
and then he sort of went down, and then I'm glad to see him winning again because I think he's
yeah.
definitely one to watch.
Yeah, you know, he came on and we thought, yeah, he's gonna do something special. But you know, like every other sport, you know, sometimes the stress of being on top is very, very hard to handle. And you know, playing under pressure all the time because when you're number 100 and you go there and play, you're just playing, you're just
He
swinging.
just yeah,
Yeah, when you're number one, two, or three, and everybody, all eyes are on you, everything is scrutinized more than it should, and it does, not everybody handles that very well initially. But he's
yeah.
probably coming into his own now, though.
Good example of that is Raducanu, and
I know.
she said that she asks too many questions, so the coaches don't like it, so that's why they keep leaving.
Even her, yeah, that's what she's saying, but she's not going to stop asking them questions and
Yeah,
get
so
clarification. So I don't know, is she being difficult? Maybe.
maybe,
I don't
maybe,
know, but I'm suppose if you're coaching her, you should be well paid. So
yeah,
if they're walking away, I mean, something excessive
that's
is going on here. Something a little over the top.
sure. And other golf going on this week is actually the Zozo Championship, and that's Sir is leading. Morikawa is fourth. He was leading after the first day,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's. Raj, I was up last night watching some of it, but I couldn't stick with it.
I still sick of it.
It's too late for
I
me.
know. I know.
Yeah, when it's in another time zone, it's not easy. I just watch the replays when I can and the
There you
highlights.
go. That's the way to go. That's what I do.
Hmm.
You can't still play that night anymore.
No, so yeah, so we'll get into what's happening now in the cricket, which is the World Cup, because with the World Cup
Yeah.
going on, there's not a lot else happening. Well, West Indies having their tournament, but they're not there at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And, we'll start with the current match, and what a slaughter is happening right now,
I'm wondering
because
what's going on.
England struggling. South Africa made it look easy to get 399 for
I
seven.
know. I know.
Um, Fantastic 100 by Klassen,
Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
first ever 50 in ODI by Jansen. So 75 not out and 42 balls.
Yeah.
So it was, and Klassen's 100 was in 109 and 67 balls.
Oh,
So
I know. We've always talked about South Africa not being ready whenever it counts, but no, maybe this is different for them this year because this is quite impressive what they did.
yeah, I think they've bounced back because remember they had that crazy loss during against the Netherlands.
I think they were looking past the Netherlands and
Mhm.
they didn't remember that they actually had to play them.
Yeah,
So I was
and that,
shocked. I was shocked
that
with
was
that result.
shocking.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they've bounced back well, and England really struggling on 70 for six.
You see, sometimes when you have such a high score, you're in two minds. Am I going too slow? Am I being too rash? And you double think everything you do, and it is showing. It's difficult to chase a total like that unless you have 100% concentration every ball.
And there's no need to go at it the way England. I mean, I
Uh,
know they say they play baseball and the fit, but there's no need to go at it that way. And
just keep turning over
just
the numbers on the board.
yes,
That's all you got to do. Don't think you got to do it in 10 overs when you have as much as 50.
yeah.
So,
South Africa didn't do it that way. They played
no,
the very measured in it.
got a foundation built and they kept scoring.
Yeah,
That's all you got to do. Just don't see further than the next ball.
yeah. But England is looking at it totally different, and they are struggling,
Oh, they're
and
dead. I mean,
they're done.
they
So
they're not coming back in this one.
yeah.
Wow.
So how quickly this turned, because if you look at the table, we were talking last week about
I
Australia,
know.
how they
Yeah.
look. But before we get to that, the earlier game, Sri Lanka didn't make any mess of it. They beat Netherlands,
Yeah, they did the
so
right
they
thing.
made sure they did the right thing. They didn't falter at all, chasing 262. They
Hmm.
got it the runs for 5 wickets, 263 for five. Kind of
Yeah.
close, 48.2 overs, but they made sure they won.
They won. They won.
Yeah,
I don't. I was like, they're just trying to be careful here or something, but they won.
they won. They didn't want to slip up, I'm sure. But
You can't
I
afford to.
think yesterday's match is the one so with Australia
Yes.
and Pakistan.
Yep.
Great match, but you don't drop great batsmen.
That's a
That
big, big mistake to make.
yeah, because there was a dolly chance for for Warner,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that catch he made them punish. They punished them. He made them pay for it, and he 163. Both opening batters got 100, 121 for Mitchell Marsh. Not a
Yeah.
lot after that. So could you imagine if they've taken that catch?
I
What
know.
could have happened?
It's a game changer.
It was a
Without
game
a
changer.
doubt, that is a game changer. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, at a professional level, you shouldn't be dropping these easy catches, but it does
No,
happen.
it
But
does happen.
as a
Yeah,
great batsman, you're gonna make them pay.
of course.
Like,
And
how
Warner
dare
was just
you? How
waiting.
dare you drop me?
Yeah, and Warner was just waiting for that opportunity because he had a rough run so far in the World Cup, and he was
He wasn't
waiting
doing
for.
anything.
No, he wasn't doing
So,
it.
we're
And
talking. Some people saying he's getting old and all of that stuff.
yeah,
So,
last week we were saying he probably wouldn't get a chance to play his home finals as he wish,
I
final
know,
match at home. But
I
now
know.
with that, I think it gives him a chance to play at home in January.
They can't say no to him now.
No, so but looking at the tables, it's quite a turnaround
Yeah, I
because
know it.
the two top of the table clashes tomorrow with India and
New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to
yeah,
be an interesting one tomorrow. But Virat Kohli proves that he's one century away from matching Sachin in ODIs. 48, Sachin has 49,
there you go.
and he's just that one away. And he's averaging 89 when they chase. Sure.
Really?
Yeah, he's averaging 89 when they chase. So
That's an
he,
impressive stat.
yeah, so he has the right formula for chasing.
Well, I mean, I've told a lot of people he's not as good as Tendulkar. Don't get me wrong, but
No,
I think he's a great batsman, and a lot of people saying he's overrated and all of that. But he's showing that he's actually. I just think he was just too tired
I don't.
recently, but
Yeah,
I
I
think he
think.
has refreshed himself, and he's showing again that he's a great batsman.
Yeah, he took some time off, went on vacation. Remember when he was in
Yep.
the Caribbean? He actually, I think I don't know, wait, we stayed back in one of the countries. He didn't travel with them to
With
Trinidad and
exactly,
Guyana. Yeah, he just
exactly,
wanted to relax, and yeah,
it worked.
it worked for him.
Yeah,
And he's having a fantastic World Cup so far. And you look at the tables, as we are just talking about: New Zealand, India, 8 points each. South Africa set to go to six after today because they're four.
yeah, yeah.
Australia sneaked up to fourth position, and they're now four,
They're climbing their way up the charts.
climbing their way up the charts. Pakistan in fifth, and then England. they probably will drop down to seven behind Bangladesh.
Again. That's that's
So
that's that's swear words you use into the English people now. Below Bangladesh, the
yeah,
big bad England team.
I
But
know.
what's going on with Stokes? Is that why they're not doing better?
Stokes played today,
Yeah. So
and he's not in good his first game, but he wanted to play like he's been playing forever,
I know.
and he
I
was
know.
only got five.
You
So
know what? Again, it goes back to what we said before about taking your time, getting back in the swing, and doing what you need to do, and not try to do it very too quickly. And he
but
got caught.
it did. Stokes actually thought his World Cup was over because he had a hip
Yeah.
injury,
He did.
and he thought his World Cup was over. So he was happy to be able to play, but I think England just pushed him back too soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because that fact, I guess the South Africa game made them do that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Moeen Ali's sitting down, and Adil Rashid played today. Although he played, he's sick. He's
Hmm.
playing,
Yeah.
and England. Don't be surprised you'll see Jaffa Archer. He's there with the team. He's training with them.
Is he fully recovered though?
He is doing his recovery with the team right now. His
Okay. I
rehab
don't
is.
think he's ready to play either though.
They're
I don't think
saying
I gamble.
I don't think he is either, but it seems like their bowling is so bad right now that you're
Anybody
gonna,
is
yeah,
better than what they have.
you're gonna hear that somebody got injured and
And
he's coming.
he has to come in.
Yeah,
They're in
because
trouble, which is a surprise to me because coming in they were just almost on top of the world here, and
yeah.
all of a sudden now they seem to be falling apart at the seams.
Well, you know about peaking, so maybe they peaked too early.
Yeah, they're an early peaker.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
maybe
it's
that's the problem with them.
yeah, yeah. I wanted them there though because I think they bring a lot of excitement to the game and
Yeah, they
and some
would
controversy as well.
some, yeah, but I don't believe they're gonna be in that final four.
They're not
Not the way
looking
it's
that way right
looking now.
now. Not looking that way at all. They're getting demolished by South Africa.
Yeah, it's yesterday I went to the gas station to get some gas, and I was talking to um the guy behind the counter that he's in. So he said you asked me if I was following the cricket because he said
Yeah.
I said yeah, and I said what about you? I said who's your favorite team? And he said India, of course. So I said why? And he said because I'm Indian. I said but don't make you have to back India. He just laughed and he said oh he said I have to back the best team in the world.
And here you go.
Yeah,
The-
well, by
It,
stats they are right.
not only that, that thing it's the number one sport. They live and die by it. So it's hard to find an Indian who is not back in India.
But you know the funny thing is I was speaking to an Indian, me and I guess you as well. I thought cricket was India's sport, but
Yeah.
it's not.
What
It's
is
not the
India's
national
sport?
sport. It's
What is it?
it's hockey, field hockey,
that
which
that
is
must be number two.
no India's national sport is field hockey. So I was
Wow.
surprised when I was told that. This is
I
not
don't know
cricket.
about that, man. I don't know about that. I see millions and millions and millions watching the cricket games. I don't see or hear of more than a couple thousand watching
I
the
don't.
field hockey.
Yeah, no, there's not a. They used to be good, but yeah, the national sport is hockey, and
Wow.
it's
I know they're good
surprising.
at it, but I didn't know it was a national sport. I know they played a lot, but the national sport.
Yeah, but just speaking to some Indians recently, I found that out. I just always thought it was cricket.
Yeah, it's easy to assume it's
Yeah,
cricket, but at the end of the day, you see the sports that are on television, and field hockey is just not there, so you wouldn't even think about it, to tell the truth.
no, because I think some years back they won a few Olympic medals
Yes,
in
they
field
usually
hockey,
they usually
but
do.
I just didn't think. But just quickly before we get after the World Cup, just give an update on this top run scorers, and it's Mohammad Rizwan, Pakistan is 294 so far.
Hmm.
Rohit Sharma and then Virat Kohli is close behind 265 to 59. Conway from New Zealand, De Kock, and yeah, David Warner now is gone coming to the top 10 with that.
Well, yeah, with that
It's
big. There you go. It's time for him to step up, of
Mm.
course.
Yeah, it's time for him to step up, and let's hope he keeps it up. And for on the wicket side, Satner, the New Zealander, he has the most wickets. He's got 11.
Yeah,
Mudushankar from Sri Lanka has 11 also. Bumrah's 10. No surprise with Bumrah.
Yeah, true.
Henry from New Zealand, 9. Shaheen Shah Afridi has 9. Zampa, 9. Rabada, 8. So some of the top bowlers that you expect are up there.
They're up
So
there doing their thing.
doing their thing, yeah. And that's pretty good. So that's it for the World Cup. We'll update you
Quick
before.
before we jump off the World Cup, what's
Mhm.
going on with the crowds? What
Yes, actually, the
they're
crowd.
not showing up or something? What we got to give out candies or something for them to show up?
Something. It's just not. Um, sorry. And just this morning, actually, I was watching the game and they were talking about that. They're saying the crowds, what's up? The same question they asked, what's up with the crowds? So Michael Atherton was saying that only certain games are you will see crowds. Even India's game
I not.
against, there wasn't a big crowd yesterday
Oh,
against South Africa.
I was surprised at
And
that. I was quite
yeah,
surprised at that because it's a big team. It's not like
yes,
a little
yeah, it was
team.
surprising that India did not have big crowds. And I don't know, maybe everybody's just, it's probably um to do with finance as well, Roger, because
Maybe
it's 45 games.
it's a lot of games and
Yeah,
it's stretched
it-
out. It's not
it's
like
stretched out,
yeah. So
it's
you gotta keep
45
spending
games.
more and more to go to the games, right?
Yeah, so people are probably budgeting and saying, I want to be at the final,
The final
semifinals,
four.
finals.
That
Yeah,
let's wait until the final. I'm wondering. That's the only thing I'm saying. Maybe that is it. That they're waiting for the final four to show up. But it's I mean it's the mecca of cricket, so you'd
it
expect a
is.
little
And
more crowd.
there's 1 point something billion people. They
Yeah,
always, India's playing at home, you always see the large crowd, so you
it's
expect
always.
something similar. It's the World Cup. But yeah, I see that. I know I get emails regularly
Mm-hmm.
and saying tickets available for this game.
If we want to go
But
to a game tomorrow, you and I could go
yeah,
down.
yeah.
We have space to get
Actually,
in.
I actually wanted to go to the watch the finals and semifinals and finals, but this visa issue right now with Canada, and
Ah,
no
yes.
one is getting any visas to go.
Yeah, they're sending people home from India to
Yeah,
back to Canada, so there's no getting in.
there's no getting in. Yeah, in
Wow.
fact, there is a Masters World Cup next year, February, and the guys are worried whether or not they're going to get visas if everything is going to be okay by then to go to the tournament.
I don't know. Are you a betting man? Are you saying you're going to bet on no? I don't know. It's not looking good
Well,
right now.
it's
That's all
looking
I would
good
say.
because they sent out, I think, they're with
41?
Canada with a 41, yeah,
Yeah,
people
41
home. So
diplomats. That's quite a bit.
that's a lot. And
Mm.
they're not, Canada's still processing Canadian visas from India, but
Yeah,
India's not doing the same.
India has nothing to do with Canada right now.
No, not
Nothing.
right now. Yeah.
Nothing. So I don't know if that's going to change by February. But if I was to bet, I'd probably say maybe not.
Maybe not exactly.
So
So
I don't know. Maybe they got to move that tournament somewhere else.
maybe, well, maybe they'll just say the other teams are okay. It's just
It
Canada can't
just
come.
Canada can't come.
Yeah,
That would not be good for you guys at all.
no, it won't be good. That's all. So, yeah, we'll get on to some Super 50 because that started, Roger. And
Yeah.
last week we spoke about um, Jamaica and having a good team on paper, as you said.
Yes, it is on
And
paper.
it's actually showing it's just on paper at the moment.
I don't know. Give them a little credit. I mean, they lost who I think is their best batsman. But Brandon King isn't playing because of
The injuries,
injury to his hamstring, I think.
yeah,
But I mean, they still had a very potent lineup.
they
So
still do, yeah.
this is it's a true paper team. That's all I can say right now. Paper.
It is. It's a great team on paper, but they just not doing it. And they lost a game yesterday that I thought they would have won easily because they looked. I mean, they were going well.
Yeah.
And then they just fell short,
Well,
and
they fell well short.
very well short. And when you analyze the game, that I mean, it's just. If you look at the wickets, it was some poor selections.
Yes, yes.
It's nothing
It's
special.
disappointing to see. I mean, the first game where they made 120, I don't even remember,
123 and Leeward Islands made it in like 14
in like
overs.
5 overs or something. But at
Yeah,
the end of the day, I mean, it's two games now where they can bat out their 50 overs.
yes, it's two games, and Rovman Fowl has failed both games.
That's a surprise for me. And I think sometimes you got to lead from the front. Maybe that's what the team is waiting for, someone to take up the mantle and say, we're going to do it. I see Jermaine Blackwood made a little attempt here. He
He
tried
did,
to
yeah.
hold it up a bit. But you know, I mean, he's not making 50s or anything like that. Bonner and Kuma Bonner, I thought would have gotten into it. He hasn't done much. As I said,
Yes,
Powell, Fabian Allen, he's just not doing anything. I don't know. We have a lot of names there. A lot of names.
a lot of names, but they're not doing a lot. And the games so far, I've watched a few games. I've been impressed with some of the youngsters that I've seen from
Yeah,
the academy team. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
I felt for Bishop. Um,
95. Can't get to
yeah,
the 100. Get in
but
there, but can't get there.
yeah, but he was at nine. He was on 89 with 5 overs to go, but
So
he just couldn't get any strike. The other guys were hitting sixes and fours. There was one point when it was like 2.5 overs and he didn't face a ball.
I know. I mean,
It was
it's. I guess it's good that he's winning, but it's bad that he couldn't get the milestone
yeah, the
100 here
milestone.
because he was ready to get there. I don't think they would have gotten him. So, wow, it must have been
Yeah.
frustrating for him.
Well, two games on today, two good games on today with Leeward Islands playing against they're currently playing against the youngsters today, the West Indies Academy,
Yep.
and Leeward Islands so far they're 104 for four, so not looking that great.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Karen Powell is out for 33, Kofi James 3, Casey Carty had 37, and Kerry McGore 9. Hamilton and Justin Graves are batting together, but after that, not a lot of batting left
Not a lot of
because
balance left after that.
no,
So,
Alizari Joseph comes next. So, but
yeah,
most likely, Cornwall, probably Cornwall will come next, and he's but
likely, likely.
likely do something. But Matthew Ford, he's been bowling well, but he doesn't have any wickets today. It's
Mm,
Joshua Bishop has 2 for 8, and Ashmead Ned has one,
fun.
and Lane one. So that's how it stands right now. So there's
Yeah,
another game this afternoon also,
yeah.
which is the Trinidad and
And
Tobago and
that
Guyana curry chicken versus chicken curry.
chicken curry. There's a lot of chicken and a lot of curry out there.
Yeah,
Depends on which way you want
oil
to see it. Who
as
comes
the
first, the chicken or the curry?
Guyanese now says oil versus non-oil.
Let them go and talk. I mean, they found a lot of oil there, but Trinidad
Yeah,
had
but
so much
still,
before them.
exactly.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, it should be an interesting game. I think they're two of the top teams. I see Utley as seems to be in great form.
yeah, you got 100. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
Trinidad looking good.
so let's see if he can continue that great form against Guyana. And as you know, Guyana is always a top team to play against, whether it's 20 or
Always
50 overs. So very dangerous team.
I'm happy to see how Shepard is coming on. Actually, he's bowling quicker and he's looks much better.
I think maybe it's confidence and he has more control now. I think before he was a little too wayward for me, but I think now he's gotten what he needs to do. He knows his job and he's doing a good job. I mean, I've been quite impressed with him, I should say.
There are two players that I keep hoping they come on, and I haven't seen an improvement yet, and it's Odin Smith and O'Shane Thomas. And
Um,
O'Shane is getting a lot of chances. He's playing with the Leeward Islands team this time around,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he's just not.
I don't know. I think to me, Odin Smith, I don't like his bowling that much. I think when
No,
he
it's
goes and swing, he goes and swing and makes a lot of runs, but his bowling is mediocre. But he's an all rounder, so give him credit for being an all rounder. O'Shane Thomas is fast, but he has never seemed to have gotten the control of his pitches and control of what he's doing as he should. He's just fast.
he just bowls quite fast, and I think maybe that's the instruction he's getting to just run in and bowl fast.
But he gotta do something else. He gotta move the ball. I mean, he doesn't have to be a Courtney Walsh, but I mean, yeah,
But
he needs to be able to do something with the ball.
something where he's not doing
He's
anything.
just bowling fast.
He's just
And yeah,
running.
don't trust me. He'll get you off sometimes because it's coming at you like boom. But at the end of the day, he needs to be able to change it up with more variety. He has some trick balls. He doesn't seem to have any of those. When you're out there
No.
with him, I think you know what's coming. There's a lot of pace.
And pace doesn't bother anybody anymore.
Not much. There you go.
No.
So now they have to make a mistake for him to get a wicket.
exactly.
He's not going to take the wicket. They're going to have to give away the wicket to him. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think he's going to go much further. But I mean, maybe I'm just being too critical here. Dean, as I said, he can get games here and there because he does have a few change-up balls and all of that. It's just that I don't know. I think he's a little too inviting with his balls. So
yeah, he's
uh,
not coming on at all.
no, no, I don't know.
Well, just gonna wrap up with some news and notes and get into the track and field, and we probably overlapping on one of the items in the news and
Yeah,
notes because
yeah.
cricket is one of the five sports for LA 28. Last
Can
week
you
we spoke
imagine?
a bit on cricket, but they're pushing for all of the countries to become Olympic members now, are part of the
Yeah,
Olympic committees. But
yeah.
some people are just saying, yeah, we're just. I mean, it's fun that we're in the Olympics and cricket's in the Olympics, but only 6 teams.
Yeah, yeah, that makes it so difficult,
So
eh? I
yeah,
mean, we can give credit that they've given cricket an opportunity, and maybe they're saying they're starting slow and not a big bash at the beginning, but
right.
it should have been a little more than six.
Yeah, I think all of the team sports are only 6 teams allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you'll talk a bit more about it when you talk track and field, and imagine you're
yeah.
talking Olympics and you're talking cricket and some
Cricket, I know.
and
Talking all
some
sort of things in the Olympics these days, I tell you.
cricket
Uh,
and baseball and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. And other news, CWI they've stepped up and they invest in some money into the cricket. So they invest in US 2.5 million
Where,
into the prize monies for the regional cricket going
where are they
forward.
getting the money from? Because I thought they were broke.
Well, it's the CG United sponsor. So CG United has put some
Stepped
money
up.
into it. Yeah, they've stepped up their amount of sponsorship. So
That's good.
um, there's incentives
I'm
with
very
that,
happy to see that, I can tell you.
and there's a lot of incentives now. So teams are getting more money. I think the winning team for the 50 overs will now get 20,000 US instead of 10,
10, yeah. And that's a
and
big incentive, don't get me wrong. So I'm
it's a
very,
big
very
hit.
happy to see it. Very happy to see it.
And there's more money for different places too, and for what. So that's something good, and you'll. I'm happy to see it as you said,
Yeah, man. Very,
and
very happy to see it. Anything that can push a sport forward is good to see.
for those who like T20 cricket and women's cricket, the WBBL has started. And there's one thing I wanted to ask you, Roger, your opinion on before I go I'll get off the cricket is what do you think that the West Indies have allowed three bouncers per over to get the fast bowlers to be more aggressive in this tournament?
You want them to be more aggressive, you said?
Yeah, that's what they said. They want them to be more aggressive, so they've allowed instead of two bouncers and over, it's three. You're allowed to bowl.
I'm not a fan of that. I think. Why? That's a little extreme to go that way.
Yeah, it is. And but the thing about it, watching the games, they're not any more aggressive. They're not
No, no,
they're
they're
not bowling
not.
monsters. They're just
No,
not.
it's not
So
them.
no,
It's not
yeah,
them. Allow them to be themselves. So maybe
yes.
somebody can come into the sport now with that ability and wants to do that, but that's not what they do today.
They've actually added some bonus points, which is interesting. For example, there's bonus points for fast bowlers getting wickets.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a team bonus point for individuals making hundreds and getting 5 wickets. So a team could have the same amount of wins, but
I mean,
because they had a couple guys who made 100, they could end
hundreds they
up
get
ahead.
more. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's makes. I mean it's trying to make the sport interesting, and yeah, it's a motivation to someone to go out there and take some wickets, and someone to go out there and bat the ball and make 100. So it's not that's and it's good for the crowd too.
Yeah, it's good
Right.
for the
So
crowd for sure.
yeah, yeah. So there's some advantages for those too, but this bouncer thing, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, and I've been watching to see, and I don't think they have the ability to do it.
To the exactly. What are you asking me to do?
Yeah,
This is not me.
it's not exactly. So,
I
but
don't know, man.
yeah,
I don't know. I
so
tell you,
that's
that's it.
about it for me for cricket.
Did
Yeah,
did uh did the Cricket West Indies also set up a cricket academy for women now too?
Yes, they've also set up a cricket academy for women. Yes, and there's
That,
the first. I think we mentioned it last week. There's an A team going to Pakistan
yes,
to
I saw. Yeah,
set up an academy for women. So they've got to do basically similar things. Whatever they do for the men, they have to do similar
same
things for
for
women.
the women. Okay, it's a good thing. I think I don't know. The women are lacking right now. I'm not sure why only one person is batting and 11 of them are
It's
out there. So
just one player.
it's just Haley Matthews alone right now. But I mean, yeah, let's set the foundation. It's all about the foundation. If the foundation is there, then things can happen.
Yeah,
Um,
it's you think there's some players who have the ability and they just need to express themselves, just like
there
how
you
Haley
go.
Matthews does. Yeah.
She's taken off now. I tell you, taken off. I tell you,
Oh
boy.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So we gonna talk some track and field now.
Yeah, we can talk some track and field. All the things that are happening. Pan Am Games, I think, would have
Yeah, it kicks off today. So that's the only thing going on the track, and of
very
course,
low key.
it's extremely low key because, as I said, a lot of people are getting ready for the Olympics next year,
Hmm.
and you don't want to be in peak form now. You should be setting your foundation for next year. So these guys are probably taking a gamble. It depends on the sport that they play, though. I know maybe the discus guy probably don't see it the same way,
Right.
and most of the top track athletes are not going to be there because they need to rest up to get ready for next year. So,
Mm,
but it's kicking off. We'll go and we'll watch and see who does what. Jamaica has a fairly decent team, so they expect medals, especially in the field. Nabaski Anderson is there in the 800 meters, and Jahil Hyde in the 400-meter hurdles for them. Canada really didn't have any of their top athletes going, so not sure how well they're going to do there either. But yeah, it's exposure for some people.
mhm.
Sometimes it's their first time representing their country, so let's see how it goes. We may get a surprise or two, and I'm looking forward to that. But very, very low key final
Very
games
lucky.
kicking off.
I just seen here that Canada already has a goal, but I'm not. Do you know what it's in?
Sport. No, I'm not sure what sport
What's
it
wrong?
is in yet. Yeah. Track and field starts today, so they haven't had any
Oh, okay.
finals yet. So, but the game started yesterday, and yeah, there's a lot of different sports going on there. It's not just on the track. So, um,
And that's the other thing that cricket is trying to get into Pan Am Games. So
I know. Well, if you can get into the Olympics, but it's the Pan Am Games,
exactly.
you should to get in easily.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, boy. Well, yeah, as you mentioned, five sports into the 2028 Olympics, and it's 5 years away, so it's not around the corner. Don't get me wrong, but
Hmm.
cricket got in, as you mentioned. But what for me was a little surprise was flag football.
Flag football. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on here? So, this guy Tyreek Hill has been talking up a storm. He used to play for Kansas, now he's in Miami, and he was saying he's going to beat Usain Bolt and he's going to do this and that.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying he may finally get a chance to go play flag football for get to the Olympics any way you can, buddy. So it looks like he's going to be going to play flag football. I'm not sure. I mean, 2028 is 5 years away. I'm not sure what
It's a
type
good.
of
This.
shape
Yeah.
he's going to be in by then, but it's going to be interesting to see exactly who makes that flag football team as it goes. But I think, good to see lacrosse there.
Lacrosse. Yeah.
Yeah, baseball and softball was there before, and squash is now there too. I love watching squash as well. So, shout out to all the squash players. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see some of these sports, but not so sure with this flag football thing.
No, I'm not
It should
quite
not be
sure,
an
but
Olympic sport.
no, I don't think so. But hey, somebody's pushed it, and the next Olympic sport you're gonna see is pickleball.
It's not far away because I'm
No.
telling you, they will drop all five of these just to get in pickleball soon because
Yes.
pickleball is just taking off like crazy.
Yeah. It's
So
going.
it's going to be interesting to see young kids playing pickleball and not just old people because that's what it is
Yes.
mostly today.
That's up to date mostly. Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. Also talking a little Olympics as well. Last week we talked about Saudi Arabia saying they won the 2036 Olympics and they're looking good. Now India. So a big giant on the other side says, "Oh, I want in too." So the 2036
2036.
Olympic bids are going to be interested coming from India, Saudi Arabia, and Australia. So it's going to be a big one in 2036, and that's what 12 years away plus.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's so far away, but yep, they're getting ready to fight for that one. So we will see how that one goes. Not even sure. Maybe you may have a different opinion on this, but I think the Olympics has been losing a lot of its luster, and people don't look out for it as before. So
That's
I'm
true.
wondering, 2036 it may be totally different by then. You may not even want it.
Yeah, you may just say, hey, it doesn't make sense.
But
Actually, that was a discussion. I was in a meeting with some sports the other day, and that was one of the discussions about the relevance of all these
Yeah.
Pan Am and Commonwealth and Olympics and stuff.
They're all having problems to put them
Yeah,
on these days. So
yeah,
it's not such big money anymore because no one's willing to spend on them. It's going to be
no,
interesting to see what happens in 10 years' time, much less 12.
12. Yeah,
so, so
gonna
that
be
one goes.
interesting to see what happened in 28.
20, exactly. See what goes on there. Back to a little Jamaican, Hansi Parchment. So he had a very good year in the hurdles this year. He was
Hmm.
a medalist at the World Championships, and then he went on to win the Diamond League finals. But he's predicting, and this is a huge prediction, that Jamaica is going to go 1, 2, 3 in the 110 hurdles next year. So I'm like, wow. I mean, yeah, I think we had two of the first three and all of that stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see if in
So
the hurdles. Like, wow.
yeah, wow, that's wow,
A
that's a
big,
big
a big,
call.
big call, big call. Well, I mean, if he's there and Broadbell is there and Levy's back, and so Jamaica do have the talent to be there or
Mhm.
thereabouts. But yeah, 1, 2, 3 is a big call, I must say.
So you're saying the Americans won't be there?
And that's what I'm wondering what's going to happen to the Americans. I mean, right now they're the ones dominating,
The other one, yeah.
and the
So,
French are right down, right behind them. So
so Grant Holloway, I guess he's saying, would not be
can
medaling
he?
next year.
Yeah, I mean the top three.
Wow.
Grant, you're the world record holder for 50, but this 110 you can't do.
Okay. Wow.
So
It's going to be interesting to see if that can
very,
happen.
very interested if that's going to happen. So look forward to it. It makes the races exciting for sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, those kind of talks help you to get more interested in that event and you want to
For
see what
sure.
happened and you start looking out for the Jamaicans.
Definitely looking out for them this time.
Yeah.
Some other news, Jakob Ingebrigtsen and his two older brothers, Henrik and Philip, they're now accusing their father, who was their former coach. He stopped coaching them last year,
Hmm.
of being it's like a family feud going on here, very aggressive and controlling, and to the point where they don't want him even in the stadium when they're performing. So
Wow.
they are, yeah, they're really upset with their dad. I'm not sure how easy it is to be, a dad and a coach at the same time for someone who is world class. And so it must be difficult for the dad, but they said he's very aggressive and controlling and gives them a really, really hard time, almost abusive.
That's not good. I mean,
Oh, I,
yeah, and they don't want him there in the stadium.
not even mistake. You must know.
Wow.
So he's a coach, but I mean, good lord, you should want your dad to watch you run at
Of
least. But
course, they wanted to watch. Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with that. But that's disappointing to hear because you want love and harmony out
you
there,
think
and
that? Yeah, you think you'd want the support and him to be
yeah,
there.
yeah. But yeah, they have been complaining about him for a bit, and as I said, they stopped working with him from last year, and Jakob is still doing good, even
Hmm.
although he has a different coach. So you know he's fine, but I mean, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the family. So the boys are against their dad, which is a
Wow.
never good thing to see. And finally, in some other track and field news and notes, Shelley Ann Fraser Price, she got invited to a fashion show in Italy last
Yes,
week, and
saw her there. Yeah,
yeah, now she's saying, "Oh my God, I didn't know it was this exciting. Oh my God, this is something I could do." So she said she wants to get into fashion when she's finished her career, which, as everybody knows, is going to be really soon, next year or the year after at worst. So she's looking to get into fashion. Well, Johan Blake,
job. She did a good job on the runway when I saw her.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah, yeah, she looked. I usually say she's short, whatever. She probably
she's
won't.
short, but she looked pretty. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I thought she wouldn't stand out on the runway, but she certainly did.
Yeah,
This is something she has in her blood. It looks like to me. So don't put it past her. I think she's going to do well if she actually gets into it.
yeah.
And Johan Blake on the other hand, now he's launched his own brand of water called Riviere Purified
Oh, you
Water.
did.
So
Okay.
yeah, has his own water out there. So, it's good to see these athletes, looking what they're gonna do post career, whether it's
Yeah.
fashion, whether it's your own business or whatever, looking good. And I hope more and more athletes look up to these individuals to see what can be achieved after track and field. A lot of them do the track and field and then they're done and then their lives are almost over. These guys are going on to do major, major things.
Oh, that's good for Blake because
Yeah.
yeah, he seemed to have gotten a good head on his shoulder, and he's doing some good things now. So
Yeah, a
that's
lot of
very
good
good.
things. He's
Yeah.
coming from, as we say in Jamaica, he's coming from really far. So,
Hmm.
he's made his way and he's holding his own, which is always
Yeah.
great to see. Switch over to some football. Some people call it soccer in North America.
Soccer. Yeah.
But the big news in Canada is that the legend herself, Christine Sinclair, at 40,
Hmm.
has finally decided to retire from international football.
Oh yeah, I'm happy for her, but yeah, she just put up when she the boots in the wind, I guess
Yeah, I
first.
know. I know. She did it a little cheeky way, but
Yeah,
yeah, she's done. And kudos to her, though. I mean, a lot of people I know they watch
yeah,
Canadian football, they watch soccer in general because of her.
of course.
Leading goal scorer in international football, that's not
Yeah,
a little thing to take. So she's huge, huge, and she does score a lot of goals, a lot.
yeah,
And she has been doing it for pretty much all her life. So she has revolutionized the game in Canada, and she has brought fans to the game in Canada, and she's brought players to the game in Canada and worldwide as well. So respected anywhere she goes. So
very
job well
much,
done, Christine
very
Sinclair.
much so. 190 goals. That's a lot.
That's a lot of goals if you think about
Um,
it. Most people don't get to 100, and she almost got to
yeah,
200.
almost, yeah.
So kudos to her. Really, really happy that she was around for so long, so we could all see her grow and change the sport. But then some Nations Cup coming up on the men's side. There's a women tackling Canada, and Canada beat them 4-1 on aggregate. Now it's going to be the men tackling Canada on the 17th of November in Jamaica, and then the
Mhm.
21st of November here at BMO Field. So
That's
it's
what
going
I
to be.
don't like, is the cold return.
Yeah, I thought about that, and then I thought about the team, and
Yeah.
not a lot of Jamaican-born people are on the team. They're mostly English.
Okay.
Yeah, so they should be fine. And those that are there that were born in Jamaica, they've been playing in either U.S. soccer or English soccer for so long that they've adjusted. So it's not going to be an issue as it was before, where they're coming up from 90 degrees and they come down to 40. So they will hold up okay. I'm pretty sure this time. So I'm looking forward to that. The Jamaica team is on the rise. They just did well in their Nation Cups first round and looking good. They have a very potent front line, and they may give Canada some trouble, like, especially since Canada has a new coach and they doesn't seem to have settled down into his rhythm as yet. So let's see how it goes. But should be an interesting Jamaica Canada matchup again,
Hmm.
November 17 and 21. On the women's side, though, I think the Jamaica women's team did a historic achievement at the World Cup when they made it to the second round. First team from the Caribbean to do it in men and women. And then they fired the coach
Yeah.
and the players now. All 23 members of the team, I'm not even saying one was missing, all of them made themselves unavailable to
Oh, that.
play in the Gold Cup. So
Oh,
the
wow.
entire team is not showing up, Ingle. Entire
So
team.
it's like, wow, it's like Spain.
Well, pretty much.
Similar, yeah, similar,
Pretty much, but
different
Spain
circumstances. They wanted the coach gone,
yeah,
but now I guess, they're not happy with the coach being gone
being fired for no reason at
and
all.
fired.
So,
Yeah.
of course, the JFF is so upset about it. They have suspended all of them for rejecting the invitation to turn up. So, they have a Gold Cup action coming up next week. They're playing the Panama, then they're going to play Guatemala. So, it's a very important games for Jamaica to get into the Gold Cup, and nobody's showing up. And they picked a team that, honestly, Ingle, I think if I know 5 players on that team, I know a lot. I don't know these names,
You
a
don't know.
lot of these names. So it's going to be very, very hard for them. Very, very hard for them. And of course, they had to get a new coach. They tried to get a big name coach. That person wanted too much money. They tried to get another coach from the English league. That person got called on some sex scandal or something like that. So
Mhm.
it's been a little run of bad luck for the Jamaica Football Federation as well. So they had to give it to the assistant coach who coaches in Jamaica. Is a very accomplished coach in Jamaican women football. But that's it. That is it. So he hasn't done anything internationally. He was just getting exposure now with Lauren Donnacy being his assistant. But yep, he's gonna take charge against with a team that he knows very little of.
Very little love. Wow.
And the first they play on the 25th. So
Some good games, big tough game teams.
I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know how they're gonna do it. And of course, in the English Premier League this weekend, I see Ingleton's favorite team taking on those Gunners. What are your thoughts on Chelsea versus Arsenal?
Slowly creeping back up the ladder, back
They're,
up the table.
yeah, they're stepping up one step at a
Yeah,
time. You
one,
know,
yeah. A lot is gonna be depend on Sterling how he plays. He's been playing good.
he has been back
Yeah,
to form.
he's been back to good form. But Arsenal on the other hand, I mean, it's always a tough game. That's coming on. That's the game this afternoon, right? The late
Yes,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's Arsenal up there in the fourth position. I'm sure they're not gonna try and drop a game because they can go top of the table with a win, right?
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
so
big
it's
game for
gonna
them,
be
and
a big game for them and a big game for Chelsea too because they're
yeah,
sitting in the middle of the pack.
yeah. Chelsea wants to make a move up, but Arsenal wants to show that
So
last year
they're
was not a fluke, and they
not a
can go
fluke,
back to
yeah.
the top again. So it's gonna be an
But
interesting game. I think.
we'll see. But you know,
I'm calling for a draw this one. I don't see a
sure.
winner yet, but who knows? Maybe Arsenal decides to take it because I don't think Chelsea is in the position yet to win these big games. But we'll find out. We'll find out for sure just
Yeah,
how good they are getting themselves into. Because yeah, they started off slow and now
they
they're on
did.
the way back.
And
And one
go
more,
ahead.
Neymar.
Yes,
The Neymar has suffered a serious knee injury during a World Cup qualifier and now
correct.
requires surgery to repair a torn ACL and his
Yeah,
meniscus. So, is this guy done? I mean,
it's gonna be a year or so before it's gonna take at least 10 months to a year to even
yeah,
yeah, and then he could be done. But yeah, he's we always get these little injuries, but this is a big one this
this
time.
is a big one for his
Yeah,
age and all of
for his
that. And
age, yeah,
so much has
and
been
yes,
expected of him, and he has just not delivered. And now he seems to be injured for a
the
long time.
recovery is gonna be the key
Difficult,
thing. It's gonna be difficult, yeah.
very difficult for him.
And what's happening with Brazil? Because they lose to Uruguay and then they drew with Venezuela.
That Jordan Venezuela was such a shocker to me. It's like,
Yeah,
did I just see that?
yeah, it's
I don't
like
know what's going on with them. Is it the new coach? I don't know, but
uh,
something's fundamentally wrong with them.
yeah, they're just it can be a World Cup without Brazil, but they'll get there. But
They'll find a way. They usually
they'll find,
do.
yeah,
That's why this Neymar thing is a huge thing because I
it's
mean
huge for them. Yeah,
he's one of
very.
their leaders and he's out so
He's out for a long time.
a long stretch. So maybe it's a good thing because he hasn't been doing much anyway. So
He wanted. Remember after the last World Cup, he was thinking about retirement and
he
stuff.
was he
Yeah,
was
so
the stress of being the leader of a team that has failed to deliver on multiple occasions can be so devastating. So I totally get why he wanted to step away, and this may be his opportunity.
it
He's
may
injured, and
very
he
well
just
be
may
his
not
opportunity.
come back to international. He may just stay in club football, keep
Yeah.
making his millions in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's all he probably need to do. Just
Yeah,
make his millions and forget national
forget
duty,
national.
international duty. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Got 2 minutes to the hour and time to wrap up. But just before we wrap up, just want to update you that England 157 for 8. I don't think there's any. It's actually the number 9 and 10 that's saving them right now because Atkinson is on 35 and Mark Wood on 30, and that's making it respectable.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to mention in cricket, Roger, if and I'll do it in a couple of seconds. Remember, we had Argentina and Chile playing that record.
Yeah, that record.
They,
Yeah.
they played 2 more games, and Chile was bowled out for 19 and 21.
My
Argentina
God.
scored over 300 both times, and out of that, only in one game, only two batsmen had runs, 2 and 1, and in one game, only one batsman scored one, and the rest is
Really?
all extras. Yeah,
They
so
only scored one run for the entire game.
1 run and 21 extras out of that 22.
Oh my God.
So
It's an
it
embarrassment.
is an embarrassment. And I think ICC has to look at what's international
Yeah,
matches and
they can't
yeah,
have that. That's
it
bringing the
can't
sport
happen.
down to the ground. That's
Exactly.
ridiculous. That's
It
crazy.
is.
One
So
run.
1 run. Yeah,
Uh,
so on that note, we have to get out of here and wish you a pleasant weekend and enjoy the rest of your day.
have a wonderful weekend, guys, and see you next week. Take care.